Why was I so late to the game on peptides? Like, everybody's doing them.
This is my first morning trying peptides.
From the wellness world to those obsessed with fitness, tonight one word keeps popping up: peptides.
This is the newest thing that I've included into my routine.
These 2 peptides have changed my life. Let's talk about it.
Peptides are protein building blocks involved in a range of body functions. They're made naturally in the body, but can also be synthesized in a lab and injected. And now that category is exploding in popularity.
Like, what is your stack of peptides that you like?
So I do NAD.
Okay.
The
Do you
IV
do
or
the IV or the shot?
Enthusiastic users, wellness influencers, and some celebrities claiming they can reduce wrinkles, boost muscles, and more. Even the Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., is among those singing peptides' praises.
I've used them myself and used them with really good effect.
And now the FDA, under his leadership, has announced it will convene a panel in July that could expand the list of approved peptides. But despite the buzz, many doctors warn the research does not back up the hype, at least not yet. Whether it's for building muscle, fighting the effects of aging, healing an injury, are those all potential possibilities that just haven't been confirmed yet?
Yes. I think that that's kind of a good way to think about it. It's definitely a leap to say, well, if it does this in a laboratory animal, it's going to do this in a human. You can't say that.
The Biden administration cracked down on peptides, classifying more than a dozen as having significant safety risks pending further evaluation. And out of the potentially millions of peptides, the FDA has only approved a small fraction, including semaglutide, which is used in GLP-1s like Ozempic. Secretary Kennedy says that strict regulation has driven people to unregulated, shadowy markets. But many doctors say it's premature to roll back restrictions. We really do not have a wide body of human data on this.
Not at all. Not at all. No. Until that's studied, the right way, I just think it's a leap and potentially dangerous to start, having them made without regulation and oversight.
Jesse Kirsch joins us now. Jesse, let's go back to what you mentioned there about the risks. Are we talking minor side effects or something more serious?
Yeah, Tom, some researchers have even expressed concern that cancer cell growth could be a possibility. But the reality is that we do not know the full extent of possible side effects. And one of the things that is pointed to is a lack of extensive human trial data. So that is something that some people want to see. More testing in humans before you see things broadly looked at in a loosened regulation area. The other thing that is a concern for some is that if you have something that's getting talked about a lot and suddenly is able to effectively cut corners and bypass the traditional FDA process, what kind of message is that sending? So there's a lot of questions still outstanding about this tonight, Tom.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.